And now Julia Gillard, on the other hand, of course, I guess the one straw in the wind for her was to grab hold of that plebiscite idea and to run against that. Here she is.
This would cost taxpayers $80 million, and the Leader of the Opposition is on the record as saying he wouldn't abide by the result in any event. This is a political stunt, pure and simple, and shrill catcalling in favour of it doesn't change the character of it. It is a shrill political stunt, nothing more, nothing less.
Now, there's a bit of a theory around that Abbott won the politics anyway because Talkback took it up and so did the tabloid newspapers, but to my way of thinking, that if you've got a bit of a reputation for stunts anyway and then one goes badly wrong, the media might now tend to take a different look at these things.
I think he didn't really care whether it got up or didn't get up. He wanted into the debate. He wanted to be the guy that was on the side of the people, and that's what he got. I mean, everything Julia Gillard said there was right. It was a stunt, and it was going to be a massively expensive opinion poll. It wasn't binding on anyone, including Tony Abbott, he admitted. But they got what they wanted. They got it in the discussion. Oh, well, it didn't get up.
Yeah, but will it change the atmosphere? With every time that Tony Abbott goes out to a factory, in Queanbeyan or somewhere handy to the Parliament, the media follow it, the cameras go out. Will you continue to do that, and will you continue to run the same line
I think the cameras will go, because the cameras will always go wherever a leader is. But I think it did change this week, and I think by the time we got to the fruit shop on Thursday or Friday or wherever we were, it didn't have the same impetus as it had before. I really do think he's losing a bit of oomph on that an up and up and up argument. People are a bit sick of it now, and I do think we're seeing a point where they have to start coming up with something a bit more substantial.
Why didn't he bind himself to the thing?
Oh, I don't think he could. I thought the Labor Party hated the stunt. The gallery didn't like the stunt, but I think it worked well for Tony. In terms of the way it went to the public, because it focused attention all week again on Julia Gillard's broken carbon tax promise. I mean, that is poison for the Labor Party, and Tony Abbott and his team know that as long as they keep the debate on that issue, and here we are talking about it again.
But why couldn't he bind himself to the result, given that he knew it was never going to happen anyway? It was just hypothetical.
Sure. I think his brand is no carbon tax, so he's not going to be moving from that, and he can't do anything about it until there's an election. So he's saying he'll be bound by the election. And the whole point of this was that Julia Gillard said one thing before the election and did something else afterwards. And so I think it worked for him. It's not surprising the Labor Party talked it down as a stunt, and he's all stunts and whatever. What else are they going to do?
They were nervous for a couple of hours on the Monday when the numbers were before Fielding.
Yes, exactly.
Knocked it on the head because Crook and one other in the lower house, I can't remember, Wilkie, were non-committal, and so they only needed Fielding in the red room and those two down below, and it would have got through. And there was a nervous couple of hours.
Who would have picked Fielding to do what he did? And then the people calling it a stunt was
what happened to Stephen?
Barnaby, yeah.
Steve
and the same independents who called it a stunt was sitting in the chamber a few hours later or a day later in their big cowboy hats. I'm thinking.
But I mean, the thing is also, if Tony Abbott was in government, would he countenance the opposition putting up a plebiscite? You don't have plebiscites on issues like this, and he knows that. So this wasn't a responsible thing. This was about saying whatever you can to get your point across, and he is starting to look like a man who will say anything to make his argument, and I think he does have to have a bit more substance behind him now.